Hacktoberfest is here. It's time to get hacking. What is Hacktoberfest? Well, Hacktoberfest is kind of like Oktoberfest for nerds, except that it's not German, and instead of drinking, you're writing code. So, in other words, the only resemblance it has to Oktoberfest is the name. Hacktoberfest is a month-long coding challenge designed to get people out of their comfort zones. If you're new to open source, Hacktoberfest can be a way to learn how to use Git, or create a pull request, or navigate a repository on GitHub or GitLab. If you're a solo developer, Hacktoberfest might be an opportunity to check out and contribute to open source projects you might not commit to normally. And if you're an experienced developer, Hacktoberfest might give you an excuse to work on that project you've been putting off, or dig into a technology or repository that you've never checked out before. Everyone is welcome, coding experience not required. So how do I sign up? When you're ready to sign up, and you can join Hacktoberfest anytime in the month of October, head over to hacktoberfest.com and click the Start Hacking link. That will take you to a page where you can log in either with a GitHub or GitLab account, which does mean you need to have an account on one of those platforms. And then once you're in, you can browse the repositories on GitHub or GitLab that have the Hacktoberfest label to tell you that they are fair game for Hacktoberfest contributions. What's a contribution, you ask? Well, at its core, Hacktoberfest is a challenge to create 4 high-quality, meaningful contributions to existing repositories. Most commonly, these contributions can come in the form of pull requests or merge requests in a participating GitHub or GitLab hosted repository. Your PRs or MRs need to be submitted between October 1st and October 31st and must have a project maintainer accept your pull or merge request for them to count towards your total. Once you sign up, you'll unlock a digital badge that gets leveled up as your contributions are accepted. I've participated in Hacktoberfest since 2015. One year, I used it as an excuse to contribute to one of my favorite lorem ipsum generators, DeLorean Ipsum. See, for a while, whenever I was creating dummy content for demo sites I was creating, I just decided to use Back to the Future as a theme for the content. So all the images I used came from Back to the Future, any user profiles or testimonials would be from characters from Back to the Future, and all the content would be Back to the Future themed. And DeLorean Ipsum takes the script from the original Back to the Future movie, assigns a character dialogue to a big variable array, and then randomizes the output. So that's what I was using to create blocks of text. I often found that I would use DeLorean Ipsum, and then I would find typos or grammatical errors in my generated content. So I used Hacktoberfest to submit a bunch of PRs fixing those errors. That's just one example of how you could participate in Hacktoberfest. This will be my first year participating from the perspective of a maintainer. Pantheon has a couple of repositories that are open to Hacktoberfest contributions, and I and the engineering teams will be watching these and marking any PRs with the Hacktoberfest accepted label if they are community contributed and approved by our engineers. You can find all of them by going to our Pantheon Systems GitHub repository and just searching for Hacktoberfest. But you don't have to contribute to a Pantheon repository to play along. You might go through our repositories and create pull requests to add a project we created to your project, or a project that you work on or want to contribute to. For example, you might want to check out our WP Unit Helper repository to add a simple workflow for setting up and running WordPress PHP unit tests on your project. You might want to add our Pantheon WP coding standards to your WordPress plugin or your site to check your code quality. Or maybe you want to run Terminus inside a GitHub Action workflow that you're writing and want to implement our Terminus GitHub Actions GitHub Action. The only caveat is that for a pull request to be counted toward your Hacktoberfest total, you'll need to make sure that whatever project you're working on and making these pull requests to have the Hacktoberfest label, or that your accepted PR has the Hacktoberfest accepted label on it. If you're contributing code back to your own repositories, you'll want to add that Hacktoberfest label to your project. Don't worry, after October you can remove the label if you don't want to keep it around, but it might make things easier next year if you want that repository to be open to contributions again. There's lots of docs on the Hacktoberfest site for both individual contributors and maintainers, so definitely head over there and check out all the resources they have. Do you have something that you want to hack on or contribute to this month? I know I've got a couple ideas rattling in my brain. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments, and happy Hacktoberfest.